Not bad. Little not necessarily slow week, but lack of volume week. There wasn't a lot of volume in the market. Um, hot list was really good. Thankful for the hot list.
Oh yeah, that
um,
a lot of great ones on there.
think I said it earlier in the week. I think we're just really early on the silver and starting to feel that way on the Chargers as well. Um,
Yeah, yeah, silver's got a long way to go,
yeah,
and whales keep buying it up. So yeah, I had a couple good trades on that. I My strategy with silver and gold is I'll swing some shares and some long positions and scalp options when I see it. So had some good trades on that.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I kind of stuck to the less is more again this week. Um, and it worked for the most part. I mean, it worked in the long run. Um, kind of just feel like the market is finding a bottom right now, and we're getting a lot of profit takers. That's what I think we've seen today. Um, it
Yeah,
almost feels like
good example of that is like net today. I think was down 6% after running really hard for 2 days. So yeah, I still really like that one, but you are definitely getting these pullbacks.
yeah, like net. That's a good example. You had a sell off today, but on the week you're still you know $8 up or whatever here. You still have the trend on the week. Yeah, but just seems like we're in that cycle. I did make the comment. It kind of felt like summer in that regard, where there's just feels like there's less in there. The morning's usually good, but then there's not like the secondary bounces that we had a few weeks ago. I also do accredit that to the short week this week. Um, I really hate short weeks, and
Yeah.
taxes being due. I mean, we're right on top of the tax here, so you're going to get sell off around tax time for people in general. Um, but yeah, yeah. Other than that, I was kind of surprised today with the late run and the crappy energy. That was shocking. Um, but it was definitely a sector wide thing.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't get into those. I was into like BTU and Rig and SD, um, Tel, which just had been really solid all week and just continued.
Yeah, Tell was. I think when it hit six, I was like, man, there's another one. I didn't want to get into it when it was too high, but I mean, my
Yeah,
550s would have been great. Um, yeah,
yeah. And then UNG, we talked about that one struggling with $20 for a while, and I think at the time I said that natural gas futures need to break five, and I think they're 750 now. So we're just in a whole whole new setup with that.
yeah, it's had a solid 2 weeks. That didn't stop that didn't stop when everything else did. That just kept continued to go. That had a really good week too. Jeez Louise, another 20%. Um, yeah,
Yeah, and I think energy is just going to continue to offer a lot of trades. I think Oxy's gonna bounce around it a bit, but I think they're probably going to take that to 70 this summer, just based on what I see. So it's just one I'll just keep trading. I rarely ever lose an Oxy trade. I just kind of know that one really well. So, but I think that's kind of going to kind of be the story in oil. It's just kind of gearing up for that next leg up. I don't see it letting up anytime soon.
yeah, and you've played this since the high 20s, correct? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, for first I played it at $22, and then I started playing it a lot around 28.
20,
So
wow,
yeah, it's just been
wow. You
amazing.
almost just full account that and went on vacation.
Yeah,
um, yeah, I just this fluctuation. I don't really know what the market. I don't know what the market's waiting for. And I totally believe like most of these things are at their they've met their stress level. Um, Some of these charts are just really, really, really good. Like they're really, really good charts. A lot of the EVs, energy, like you're saying, um, you just got to kind of separate what they are, in my opinion,
Yeah,
right? Like you got to understand what each one is, because some of these, if they are oil, like Oxy is a great example, they're just not going to stop. Um, there's just too much demand for that, especially going into summer. If we're going to open back up, I don't see how oil has a chance to slow down. Um, Mining
yeah,
too.
no, I agree. And you know, also anything infrastructure related, like you saw what Cat did today, but like steel, aluminum, um, those plays will still be there. I still like chemicals a lot. So Dow and AMRS, those are the ones I usually play. But there's a couple other ones I'm kind of looking into. Alto is one. I don't know if you want
Yeah,
to call it that chart.
that's a I did a little DD on these guys not too long ago. They used to be, yeah, there used to be like a uh God, now I kind of forgot. Like an ingredient, like like spices and stuff.
Yeah,
And they pivoted, I think, after COVID, and now they make like more chemical products and stuff like that. It's a little different now. I have notes on it somewhere, but um, no, I liked a lot of what these guys did, and they were. If you look at the bigger chart, I believe they're like super super far down. Um, I guess not anymore, but yeah, they were at $4, trading at 12, so they're like 70% down from their
yeah,
highs. And now we're still 40% off their highs, but a completely different business model from what I understand.
right, right.
Have you looked into it? Have you looked into this much?
Yeah. So I started to. I've seen a lot of activity on it over the past 2 weeks. Um, a lot of leaps up to 10. So that's what got me interested.
Yeah, I
And I,
got into this when we were looking into foods. It came up, and then I
yeah,
started looking into like what they actually do, um, and it really didn't seem like it was food anymore. Like it's more like a specialty products. Like they're very direct in what they do now. I'll look into it more over the weekend for sure, so I don't sound like an idiot. Uh, um, the same with mines, though. Like I know metals, materials, but I like the mining. CDE, I think, really got missed in here.
yep,
We put this trend line on it, and I kind of preached that this was going to be the next rig, and it totally did it this week. I missed it as well, so I'll take the lecture just like everybody else. But
I had it on the hot list. I was in that one.
yeah, no, it made the move finally off that trend line. It just was in the zone, and said nope. Um, it reminds me a lot of Black Rock Coffee, a lot of like rig, just stuff that you find that if you just have a little patience, it's very very rewarding. I don't know how long ago you actually started playing this. It was a while ago though.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, 2 weeks I think.
yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like the mining stocks. I think that will continue. I think we'll see another run on lithium again pretty soon. And I don't know. Did you catch that? I think it was an OTC, but like this fake story came out about Tesla buying some lithium miner, and the thing went up like 90% or something, and then just like instantly dropped. A bunch of people got bagged on it.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
If it was OTC, that's probably why I definitely use that filter on here. I,
yeah,
I don't even. I'm good. Um, when before in like November, October, I wanted to buy Hertz off the Tesla rumor, and it was OTC. And then they
yeah.
switched over, and I was like, all right, I'm buying Hertz. Um, yeah, yeah. That's almost like a sympathy play, right? Like Musk is big news right now with Twitter and whatnot. So anything you can link him to should run. Um,
Yeah.
Crazy world we live in. What do you think about Twitter?
Oh, I don't know. It's a little dicey because he could just send it or tank it with a tweet, you know.
Yeah.
So it's um, I mean, I before all the Musk stuff, I kind of like Twitter as sort of a bottom play, and then it took off. I mean, if he does actually acquire it, it'll probably jump like 20-30% or something like that. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, there's a lot of volume on it, really heavy volume on it every day. So
Yeah, I could get the 65, 70 level back easy. Easy. Nice. Thoughts on what are you looking on the weekend? You got anything
um,
specific?
yeah, I'm still looking at energy. I think there's a couple that are lagging a bit that I want to look into. Um, Nothing specific on that yet. Big dip on the crypto stocks.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see if I'll kind of watch those prices over the weekend, see if I'm interested in that. Still like the cybersecurity plays. I'm really trying to limit my focus in tech right now. You just can't trust it.
Sure.
So I don't play a lot of it. Steel, definitely. CLF is a little bit lagging behind its setup in the flow, so looking for a bigger move out of that.
What is that again? Isn't that metals and materials?
Yeah, it's a steel company.
It's steel as well.
Yeah,
Um, on the crypto side, that like crypto is not the crypto in general is kind of like in a channel Bitcoin, right? And it's
yeah,
the stocks are not like they're not responding well to it. They're definitely finding their bottoms, but you can find some great levels of support, or you can check your levels of support. And I've been in Hut. I sat in Hut all week. I bought it last weekend, and I've just sat in it because it hasn't really left this zone. We've been right here the whole time, right on my 456. We're a little below it, um, but Bitcoin has been taking a beating. But I like seeing this base established in these. Um, so if you're following any of these and you're not trading them, but you do like to trade them, let's go to coin here too. Look at what they're doing because now is a good time to see what's really going to hold in the long run. Um, for me, it's Hut and Ebon, but Ebon really
yeah.
doesn't move to Bitcoin.
I'm looking at leaps on Riot pretty soon. That's kind of the one I'm targeting. I like coin. Leaps are too expensive on it, but
Man, I'm good.
so Riot would be the one I'd target there.
Hey, look at that TA, Professor. If that holds, super genius. But that's actually a good. So I mean, that's a really good. That's another one that I would compare to Hut. Is if this is holding a slight uptrend in a shitty crypto market, like that's a really good sign to me. Um,
Yeah, oh,
if
absolutely.
Bitcoin busts 50, this is going to 30. That's just
Yeah,
how I would interpret. That's how I would interpret this holding this trend line. Um, so yeah, that's it. So the point of that, um, when a sector's taking a beating or a sector is cooling off, it's still good to check the charts and see what's being respected because that's going to help you out when it heats up to know where real support's at. Um, Seeing how they can take a punch, for lack of better terms.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, what else do I got? Yeah, no, and it seems like market condition. I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. Market conditions. Um, you got to understand right now we are in a market of profit takers, not long term investment holders right now. People are jumping in and jumping out, and um, that's just going to cause fluctuation in the charts. Um, some might have a pretty decent range of 10 to 15%, and some might have bigger than that. But you should have a general understanding on what your stock is doing, um, or what kind of play you're in. The only thing I've noticed that's resilient are these oil and material plays that the professor finds. Other than that, the charts have a lot of what I call harmonics to them. They have ups and downs. They have big waves. Um, so just be mindful of where you're at, big picture. Because a lot of times people will mention a spot on a stock that's ran for 3 days, and if you just look at the chart, it literally runs for 3 days and then cools off for 2 or 3, and then runs for three and then cools off for 2 or 3. Um, so just be kind of mindful on that, because I think that'll help out a lot of people if you just back out, look at a day chart, and say, oh, we're at the peak of this curl, and not at the bottom. And then, like I always say, pick your spots. That really should help.
Yeah, we're not in a situation where like SPY and QQQ are going to give you 4 green days in a row. I just don't see that for a while. I think as the um, rate hikes start to get kind of absorbed, I think we can get back to that. But yeah, one thing I would encourage that a mistake a lot of people make is they look at sort of this general view of the world, and there's a war in Ukraine and interest rates going up, and some Fed speaker, whatever, and like everything just seems so bearish. But I think there's kind of a limit to the downside in the market right now. So like swinging puts on tech, not really something that I'm that interested in. And you kind of saw this week that CPI comes out and it's just about what they thought. Because I think the impression of the conditions is so bad that you're not going to get it's not going to get worse than what they're already pricing in and expecting. So I think you'll just get volatility and fluctuations, but I'm just not seeing a big market crash right around the corner.
No, the market knows before you, and the market usually has it priced. Is starting to price it in before you understand it. In most cases, so like the war in Ukraine has definitely been thought about. That's where the oil ran real hard a month ago, um,
Yeah.
and wheat. Wheat was a thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, and as a day trader, it's nice to know that stuff, and it's kind of um, tells you where to go, maybe, or what to avoid, but it doesn't take away every opportunity. Um, and that's again what we want to stress is that we're just looking for the opportunity to get our percentage out. Um, and it's always there. It's always somewhere. Um, yeah, that's why I stress learning a couple good setups, and I know the professor does as well. It's because after a while it'll be like an alarm. His 56.89 on Oxy, it you can trade off that for 2 weeks, and once you learn how to do that, that's what you look for instead of just where's the momentum at today. You look for your opportunities that you've been successful on to just show themselves again, and then obviously create new ones. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of want to talk a little bit about this HUSA. I was sitting here just charting, and I did notice it break the high here, but it hit my volume over here as being unusual because there was no volume on this goddamn thing for a while. So I looked at it, hopped in here. Get off of there. Hopped in here. It halted up. You can't see it because I'm not on a minute chart, but it halted up and it came out of the halt and it kind of didn't show. This first candle right here probably is it. It didn't show strength, so I exited the trade. Um, and then it continued throughout the day or the rest of the day.
They got options now.
This does. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, start tracking that, please. This has mad
Yes.
range. So it kind of tapered off, and about here, I was like, all right, we're going to get another spike, but it's okay because I'm out of the trade. But at this 188 level, and if you count down here at the regular level it was at today, it was a $1.30 move, $1.35 ish was the move. I took about 50 cents out of it. Um, you're not going to get it all and you shouldn't try to get it all. And if you do try to get it all, you're probably going to get in trouble a lot of the times. Um, so usually have a plan. And in this case, I really didn't have a plan because it's a scalp. So I just took my money out of the halt. Um, and you guys have to treat trades like that. Sometimes they're real quick in and out, and that has to be the plan. You can't try to come up with something on the fly. You just take what's presented. Um, or you have a plan. Like I didn't even have a line on this chart. I do now. It's 320, just so you guys know. I think I posted that in the um, chat. But um, someone could have really, if you got in a little bit later and this decided to tank off, someone could have definitely got, you know, 50 cents to a dollar down in this thing real quick. Or the same with CIE or IMPP because they all ran the same. I'm sure one of them knifed. Um, but the point is that if you know what, yeah, like you could have chased this and probably got caught. Know what you're getting into. Know the kind of trade you're getting into. Um, and the main point there, it was a $1.38 window. I got 53 cents out of. And if you use my Robin Wall Street analogy, if Wall Street's a bank, like bank robbers don't go into banks and get every single penny out of the bank. They just go fill their bag up and run out before they get caught. Um, so just be mindful. Like trying to get it all usually gets you in trouble. Because I thought about it, and I um, and no, I didn't even leave shares or nothing. I just again, if you're gonna throw me a softball on a Friday afternoon or a Thursday afternoon, in this case, I'm gonna take it. I'm just gonna take it. Um, yeah. I don't know how does that ever happen to you where like you just see something and do you even scalp on your side that way like you just see like almost an alert and
Oh yeah, I do that with Dash all the time. It just gets these crazy spikes out of nowhere,
are you
and I can.
setting
I
them
like.
off? Sorry.
What's that?
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, like well, if you call up Dash from today, and you'll see it did this had this pretty good move right after the bell.
Yeah, down.
Yeah, and so it got to like 108, and then spiked up to 112. So that's an example of a kind of scalp I'll do. Just something that flushes it open that I know has some bullish flow behind it, and then it didn't really hold together. Sold off with most of the tech, but yeah, I scalp like that quite a bit.
So what catches your scanner or your eye or whatever you got set up? Is it the 108 dip, like the percentage dip, or is it?
Well, it was specifically 108 sold puts.
Oh, okay. So you see the flow and and the chart at the same time. I got you.
Yeah, yeah, and it kind of had been after it had that huge day. I think like yesterday, I saw a lot of sold puts on it at 108, so that's kind of what I was looking for.
And so you just buy calls at like 110 in that situation, or do you just play the puts?
No, I bought calls at 108.
Oh,
Just
okay.
caught the spike,
Nice. So that's the at the money play
and
that you always
right,
talk about.
I
Okay.
I had it set up as an automated order that when it hit 108, I buy calls, and then if I'm wrong and I lose 20% on it, I'll just get out of it. But I caught the move, and I got out at like 111 or so. But
Oh, okay. So you seen the puts like yesterday, set
yeah,
up the order to. I got you. I got you. Nice. That's pretty awesome. So then, if it just continued down, you would have lost the 20%, like you're saying. I got you. I
yeah,
got you.
yeah. I just would have gotten stopped out.
I got you.
So it's basically looking at. I think I got like 44% on it. So 44% win or a 20% loss. That was kind of what I was looking at.
Yeah, as long as the position's not crazy. Like,
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing with options. You just don't go large in positions. You don't need to. I mean the percentages that you can get on it um, more than make up for. You don't need $2,000 option positions.
I
I would never do that.
I'm the guy people are listening to in here, and my rule is strict. Is $100.
Yeah.
Like, you need to find me one that's $1 or I'm not playing it. And when I have more success or I know what I'm doing, I'll bump that up to probably 300 just so I can play ones up to $3, right? But
Yeah.
I'm pretty much a flag planting at the, and it's usually, I'll look at the chart and it's usually at a bottom, it, or at least it looks like it's at a bottom, um, and with a little bit of help from Goose and Tev and Pac and you. I've been lucky though. I've been real lucky. Um, any big names you want to talk about?
Uh, Home Depot.
HD.
This kind of looks to me like it's sitting at a support level and
A little bit.
pretty likely to reverse this week. And let me give you some actual
Yeah,
numbers here.
you're 308 to the top of volume profile on 3 year. That's where you
So
are.
I kind of think 300 is the line in the sand right now. Um, but I would expect this to reverse out to 315 or so relatively soon.
Yeah, I have 320, and then I would, my low would be like 296, but it's held well at 305 the last week. This has a lot of room for a big name too.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you have 420 up here at the top. Even
And on my
280. I like this, yeah.
large caps from the hot list, five was really good this week, and
Yeah, right out of
I
the
think
RTL on the day.
I think that I think those discount stores are still looking really good. Dollar Tree's running a little too hot for me to enter it right now, but I'd mentioned that if once that pulls back a bit, I think it'll retrace and just break new highs again. But I'm just kind of waiting for that to happen.
155.
Yeah,
Yeah, 155. If it does pull back, that would be like the dead bottom pullback. So I mean, I'm not saying it will, but that would be like the bottom. You probably will get
yeah, and
this
those
one.
that
You
that sector that there's just there's limited downside right now in consumer defensive. They just have a lot going for them because inflation's actually good for them, and particular these discount stores. So the supply chain stuff is kind of priced in, and I think that'll only get better.
they that fits my theory on supply chain. They don't have no sub. I mean, there's some like rare metals and stuff like that, but like Dawn dish soap and green beans in a can and stuff like that.
Yeah,
There's no supply chain issue. They have the issue is they have too much shit that they want to sell to us at full price. That's the
right.
problem. That is the only problem. Um, so these guys, the discount stores, it makes sense because they would be who would get the first discount. Like they would move bulk to them first to create room in the inventory in general. Um, so
Yeah,
they
and
should do well.
and Dollar General and Dollar Tree both, in terms of their whole like warehousing and shipping setup. I mean, it's really kind of top notch. It's I mean, second only to maybe like Amazon or something. But I mean, I think they're even better than Walmart in that regard, just in terms of getting their products moved around and stuff, and opening new stores and all that. Um, so yeah, there's a lot more upside with them. I just want a little bit of a pullback, and then I'll get in. UPS, that was on the hot list for me. I think I'm early on it, but I still really like that in the coming weeks.
One, two, three, four. Yeah, just kind of slide across the zone. I think you still get back to that 213. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're
that's what I'm
seeing.
looking for.
But yeah, I think that's a huge 215. I guess it would be 210, 215, whatever. Plenty of range from here. Penn and DraftKings for sure. I'm still in that professor. Planes are first. Like we're gonna get a little more there, but I think we're about halfway through the planes. But then it's you land and you go to the hotel, and then you go to the restaurant and have dinner, and you go to the
Yeah.
movie theater. I mean, that's the way I feel we're gonna sector rotate for like the next 6 weeks, or at some point in time for like over a 6 weeks period. It's just gonna grow as they open back up. Um,
Yes. Yeah. I'm definitely. I'm with you on that. And like I've seen some interesting setups in like restaurants and hotels. Yeah, I definitely think that'll happen.
did you watch the what's the Delta? Did you watch the Delta CEO talk after earnings at all?
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it.
You could tell that dude gets a bonus on numbers because he was the happiest looking guy on the planet. He
Yeah.
was just he was just smiling ear to ear, talking about best 6 weeks ever. Um, but that's just a good sign for that theory or that thesis that it's all opening back up. Is they're getting scheduled. You got to schedule your trip, right? Like you're not just leaving tomorrow. Um, and it seems
And
like that's the
the
case.
the reason I was able to catch airlines actually wasn't those big names because they always have a lot of volume. But it was when I saw these airlines I'd never really heard of with the smaller market caps like Azul
Hawaii,
and
Hawaii.
ANA and Hawaii, yeah, where they were coming in, and at that point it's kind of like the whole sector is going to go. The same thing happens in oil, and it's why like it's really important not to just be focused on large caps. Like you really want to have your eye on some of the smaller cap stuff too, because that can really give you a clue because the flow on it stands out more because there just aren't as many buyers.
Yeah, yeah, less of a haystack to weed through, looking for the needle.
Yeah, exactly.
Basic, basically, um, planes. Oh, hey, yeah, little bone to pick with you.
Yeah.
When you're doing real estate, you got to include kind.
Yes.
We're sitting on this 520 support pretty well. I don't know when it's going to go, but it has decent range. And, um, but yeah, I always look at
Well,
your real estate, and then I'm like, I look at all your charts, and I was like, I got to go look at kind too.
yeah, yeah.
um,
That was a that was a great move on Open this week.
yeah, yeah.
That was just perfect.
I did not get in that, but yeah, 4 days of just solidness. Good for Cryption on that one. Shout out to him. He's coming closer to home. Seems
Yeah.
like, um, and he's having success. If we can just get that guy to sell, I think he'll be a good trader. um, that's about it. Yeah, that's about what I got. I got consumer defense down. I wasn't planning on that, but I'll look into that again. That's a tough one on small caps.
Yeah.
There's really not much. Um, and Alto, I'm making a special note because the last time I looked at consumer defense, that's the one that came up, or one of the ones that like really stood out to me. Um, Definitely look at that. It's about it. I'm doing RTL tomorrow. Just kind of like a hopefully get these guys turning their mics on, ask a bunch of questions on that side. Just basic charting,
Oh, cool.
and then kind of like how to use the lines of RTL, the auto stuff, and then kind of how to get the more historical lines. I want to go over that with people. I think that's it's just some people. It seems like they're just looking at today sometimes. I get that feeling a lot, and I want to kind of help break that cycle. So if you got any pointers or anything you want me to stress, I'm all ears on that on TA side. If you see people making like the same kind of mistakes um, over and over
Yeah, I
again.
think the hour chart helps me a lot. I've been using that a lot more, and just really kind of even with stuff you don't trade, like chart it to
Yeah.
see how you. Um, and I think there's a lot of value to because I watch so many stocks and I write about so many stocks and there's no way to trade them all, but I'm always looking at where an idea on a stock pans out, and then I try to look at what is it that I saw here that made me think this was good, and then I try to repeat that with the next one. So just study things beyond what you're trading. I guess would be my big advice.
Yeah, yeah. And I know you get a lot of the is this position still good, or I bought here and is this good? I don't get a lot of those.
Yeah.
um, um, so I definitely want to like establish that our picking a spot, because that's kind of what you're saying as well. Like you got to have a pre plan and a little bit of a thesis that this is going to come back to this spot and it has range to this spot, so I'll buy it at this spot. You got to kind of plan that out, and um, randomly picking spots isn't probably a good thing. So
Yeah,
the
no.
having a little bit of a TA. Um,
And I going into a day, I have no idea what SPY or QQQ are gonna do. But my whole thing is to find stocks that are gonna kind of do their thing, regardless of market conditions. And the thing is, when you find those, if we do happen to have some good day where the indices are all ripping, then your stock that maybe would have gone up 2% will go up 6% that day, or 8%. So, but kind of fundamentally, they aren't setups that are just completely um, subject to overall market conditions. I don't like to play stocks like that. I like to play stocks that have some strength, just going into the day, kind of regardless of what's going to happen in the indices.
yeah, I really honestly, I cannot wait until we get into a more euphoric market, because some of the stuff you call, I already know it's going to pick up momentum. Like we're going to have our good entries, like they're going to not only run to where they are, they'll pick up momentum, um, and run a hell of a lot farther. Like a BlackRock coffee, that's probably a good
Yeah.
example of what I see happening in the long run, where we're going to have a target of 20 and it's going to go to 30. Um,
Right. Right.
because we were just so, and we could stay in the position because we were so early. Um, yeah, I see these setups happen a lot more. But right now, you're basically getting to a area with a lot of dilution in shares, and people are taking profits or getting out of positions. So it kind of not dies out there, but a lot of the action gets taken out there, and then we stay in a channel for the next month and a half. Um, until enough buyers come in, and then you get out of the zone in the best case scenario. It seems like that's more what's happening right now. So just a
Yeah.
little harder to trade on the day, but I totally see the promise um, in what we're doing. That when the market conditions are favorable to day traders, or it's more euphoric, this is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's lack of better terms. Yeah. So yeah, I plan on doing that in the morning. Other than that, I'll be around all weekend for you guys. If anyone needs anything, use the extra day. I'm gonna say this time. Use the extra day to kind of do something for yourself. Get away from some screens. Do your taxes, stuff like that. Um, Go outside if it's not 30 degrees. Yeah, but just have a good weekend. And then treat Sunday. Always treat Sunday like a Monday. And we'll get back at it next week. I think we'll be a little like this week next week, where there'll be not the most volume, um, but I think some of the things that we're on, Chargers and Silver, are right now what I'm thinking. Like there'll be some things that heat up, and the sectors are going to have really good runs, because bottoms have been established on a lot of this stuff, in my opinion. So, yeah, got anything?
I'm with you.
You got anything
Uh,
else?
No, that's pretty much it. I'll be on all weekend. Thanks everybody for bearing with me while I was out sick yesterday. I know I didn't have notes up or a watch list. Just wasn't in the. I was medicated. It didn't seem like the best time to be falling out
Yeah.
on a watch list or anything. But I'm feeling better, so I'll be back at it this weekend and go on into next week.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're better. I'm glad you're feeling better. Definitely have a good weekend out there. And yeah, to see you guys Sunday.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, bye.